What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. So we have another 1-round breakdown, and this time I have about 8 tips that are going to help you guys with fighting on the inside and being the pressure fighter. So let's check it out. All right, so if you are going to fight on the inside, there are actually a couple things that you really kind of need to understand. One of those things is going to be like how to actually effectively get on the inside, because you don't want to just rush in. So as you can see, I'm taking my time. I know what my actual plan is, which is, I can't say that with more emphasis. Make sure you actually have a plan and do what you can to put that plan into place. Find out ways to force your plan on top of your opponent. That's huge. That can't be understated. So as you can see, I'm kind of taking my time. My gloves are up. Do not forget about your defense. All right. But what I'm doing is, because about this time I was of my original plan of boxing on the outside had kind of started to not have as much effect as it was before. It wasn't working quite as well. This individual was starting to kind of adapt. So I decided to just completely change the plan and see how he would change or handle what it is that I was going to do next. So I'm looking for the right time to actually get in so that I can apply my new plan of just walking him down and just applying a lot of pressure. So caught him with a jab, but I didn't overcommit. Right, I'm still doing a couple throwaway jabs. I really want this person to get in and give me an opportunity in order to get in. I'm looking for my window. Think about it like double dutch. That's what I'm looking for, right? The ropes are spinning back and forth, and I'm on the outside, kind of like, bobbing back and forth, waiting for my opportunity to get in there. And once I get in there, I'm gonna do my best to stay in there. Right. And there it is. So the minute he planted his feet good and I caught it and he started to lean, I said, here's my opportunity. I inched my way in enough, and then I found my window, and now I'm in. Now my job is to stay inside. Also, effective punching and changing up your combinations. Do not go in and just throw hook after hook after hook. You want to pay attention to where their gloves are and pick those shots accordingly. The player's gloves were down at the time. I took the 2 up top. The previous combination, what you saw was I came in, hands are up. I got a couple body shots in, right? Picking my shots appropriately. The next thing I kind of want to talk about is keeping the ring small. So as you can see right now, I keep giving this player angles. Right now, I'm on a pretty tough off angle here, and I'm going to shoot this jab, which is guaranteed to land because I've already completely lined it up, right? Not to mention their defense is down at the time. So on the inside, you still have to give your opponent angles while paying attention. And I mentioned this in my previous video, spatial awareness. Spatial awareness of where you are and where your opponent is in the ring is huge, especially if you're going to fight on the inside. Because ultimately what you want to do is raise your opponent's mental stack. And I will explain. When you have an individual thinking about a lot of other components of the fight, I need to protect my body. Maybe I need to protect up top. I need to get away from the corner because he's boxing me in. The brain cannot focus on too many things at one time effectively. So what you want to do is raise their mental stack and have them thinking about everything else except for putting on a good offense. When they have multiple things to think about, a lot of things begin to fall apart, and ultimately the fighter becomes less effective. Also, managing their stamina while you also manage yours. So you also want to put as much pressure on them as possible while not burning your own. And cutting off the ring helps to do that. once they feel this need to have to escape, a lot of people begin to just throw a lot of punches because they want you to get off of them. They want you to get away from them. But what they don't realize that's happening is that they're burning their stamina up. And you want them to do that because that creates windows of opportunity for you to put your offense really into place and really begin to take advantage of them. So keep paying attention. Couple of things I wanted to point out as we go on. As you can see, I'm still keeping the ring small. Double left hook there, then left to the body. The double left hook was intended to keep their hands up. The whole plan was to land the hook to the body. I planned that in advance. The double left hook was literally just to keep them thinking about their hands being up top. The hook to the body was my full intention, though. That was the punch that I wanted to land. Sometimes you have to set up the punch you want in advance. Still keeping the ring small on him. He finally got out. And the minute he got out, right? And this goes back to what I said before. Angles on the inside. You're going to see that I'm going to throw a stepping jab, but I'm actually going to step towards her jab hand. What this does is this lines up my jab hand, and then I'm going to hit her with another right. She leaned back. By this point, we have already been a few rounds with each other. This is round 6. I knew that this individual, by reading them and paying attention to kind of their tendencies, I knew that this person on the inside liked to lean in a very dangerous position. So that stepping jab, she began to lean, and then I shot the right hand straight, which put it literally lined it up right on her jaw. So paying attention to those fine, small details of what your opponent is doing, and then applying your plan effectively all helps this to continue working. Step jab on the inside right hand, gave her another angle, turn, and now as you can see, she's literally punching at the air. Right? So I get a free straight right there. And because of the damage that I landed with that, she's frozen, which also gives me a free left hook follow-up. And I got all of that with taking almost little to no damage at all. And I'm literally standing right in front of her. Don't forget about your defense, right? Obviously, here I am back on defense again. You could see that whole little scenario that just played out. This person is now focused on defending, but in my mind, I think this person is a little bit rattled at the moment. That you can see them spamming, the some of the defensive options in the game. That's what you want. That is raising an individual's mental stack, because now what this person is not doing is punching. I took a free body shot there. Right? Good work on them. And as you can see now, this person's plan has now completely changed. Instead of coming forward and looking for offense, this individual is now doing their best to fight off of the back foot, which means that they're making an adjustment, which is great, but they're having to fight my fight. Right? So now my plan is going into effect. I want them moving backwards as much as possible, because that makes it easier for me to cut the ring off. I now just have to cut the ring off effectively. Pay attention to the combinations that you're throwing. Get a good flow. Right? The right hand to the straight right. And look at where she is. I let her out, but look at where she was again. Always mindful of my defense, right? Keeping my hands up, but she was almost in the corner. Again, the ring is getting small, and I'm keeping it small. Here is where I spoke about angles, right? Even on the inside, angles are important. I'm going to get a heavy modified straight right here. But I set it up by getting a good angle. I'm circling around her, right? She's gotten space. I'm looking for her to off rhythm jab back in. It was something that I had picked up on previously in our earlier round. So I was waiting for it this time. And because I stepped around to the right away from the jab, I lined up my right hand and I was able to shoot my heavy modifier, which has a animation that is easy to see, but she couldn't avoid it. And it was simply because of where I placed myself and what I knew her tendencies were. I could still stay close to this individual and still control the fight the way that I want to. So that is going to be my 1 round breakdown for fighting on the inside and applying effective pressure. You do not have to get in there and throw a million hooks over and over again, taking unnecessary 50-50s. You can still be on the inside and still manage everything and ultimately manage your fighter and still make them fight your fight. I will post the entire round right after this so you can watch it all the way through, bell to bell. And maybe you'll pick something else out of there that maybe I didn't talk about. But again, appreciate y'all for coming back to the Coach's Corner, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Missing with that jab. The winner of this surely will get a world title shot.